This is what revolution looks like.
The fascinating thing that I look back on is that the fact that that opportunity was afforded me, it's really put me in a position to make decisions that affect a lot of the women that I work with today.
Woke, woke, and then you can come on each other's faces and tell each other that come on your face cleanses you of wokeness.
I'm coming for you, boy, and I'm coming hard.
Remember, a Jedi can feel the Force flowing through him.
You mean he controls your actions?
Partially.
Can feel the Force.
And of course, you've got George Lucas in the background behind me, laughing away with Rosario Dawson. And in the meantime, Rosario's evil nemesis on my right-hand side with a rather large sausage in her hand, making funny googly eyes at George Lucas and rubbing his face suggestively with that sausage to remind George, baby, that, oh boy, this is what it's come down to. Women making a mockery of men in a universe that's meant to be diverse and equality for all.
Oh dear, I dropped my flowers.
Pick it up for you.
What a good idea.
Don't get too close to the set, it steams up the camera.
What? Oh, there's some more sketches coming up. But don't worry, we'll be back soon.
Good news is, this episode is only 30 minutes long. The bad news? Well, it's episode 3 of Ahsoka. Does it get any better from the last 2 episodes I reviewed? Absolutely not. Is it worse? Yes. Is it insufferable? Yes. Will this madness ever end? No. So what are we going to do? We're going to sit down together like obedient boys and girls, and I'm going to tell you how much suffering, pain, endurance, sweat, toil, dog feces, which is what this show is made from. I'm going to tell you everything that went on in this episode. And boy, oh boy, when you're finished watching this video, it's not do I feel lucky, punk. It is more or less, is this really a Star Wars show? Time will only tell when this gets buried 6 feet under, because I think Ahsoka will suffer the same fate as Willow. Once it's aired, they're going to write this off as a complete tax mistake, get some money back, and maybe redistribute Ahsoka to ABC and other unwilling networks. So following the events from last week, what happened? Oh yes, that's right. Sabine, useless as she is fully recovered from the lightsaber through her taut little stomach, and now she's been told by Huang, voiced by David Tennant, she's the worst Jedi candidate he has ever trained. Not only does he think this, but also his committee of people back in Jedi Academy think the same thing as Sabine, because she's absolutely, well, not just insufferable, along with Hera, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I'll get to her later on.
Hu Yang, I'm the worst candidate to be a Jedi out of every Jedi he's ever known.
You told her that?
It's true.
The other point of contention I have to suffer now is looking at Sabine and that short SJW haircut, because I can't tell if she's a dude.
I know who I am. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Or if she's Dylan Mulvaney, and congratulations Dylan on that award. I'll be talking about that on Friday, you little fakester you. So in their intrepid search for Ezra Bridger and General Thrawn the Prawn, what do our little band of misfits get up to in this episode? Not much really. First of all, if you want to see cringe, ultra cringe, ladies and gentlemen, of course Sabine, being the failed Jedi candidate warrior that she's destined to be, they actually borrow an element from the 1977 Star Wars where Alec Guinness is training Mark Hamill to be a Jedi. And what does he do in that particular scene? You remember, he puts the helmet on and Luke is saying, but I can't see anything, I'm blind. And of course, Obi-Wan says to young Luke, just use your feelings and you'll know where things are coming to attack you from. In this version, and it's just so painfully awkward and excruciating to sit through. At this point, if constipation has settled in, I would have been more happier for that moment in time. But Rosario Dawson is walking around saying, hear my voice and follow my voice, and you will know where to strike. Honestly, it is just more of that bad dead air acting I talked about last week, and it's here to stay. It's never going away. All thanks to David, I'm a gay boy Filoni, and Steph Green apparently is the director. She directed the last 2 episodes, I believe, and she does a very piss poor job.
Feel my presence. Sense my intention.
And surely what I just witnessed was a complete candidate for being stupid or moronic, but nope, something worse will come along much later on. Something again that actually takes from the 1977 movie, because Dave Filoni, now you got to remember this, right? Filoni is the disciple, the acolyte of George Lucas. Lucas, baby, took Filoni under his wing because he was so impressed with Star Wars Rebels. Of course, it seems that Lucas didn't swallow the ESG pill, which obviously Filoni has been force-fed like an unwilling, brainwashed victim. And now we've got this. It is absolutely incredibly bad TV that I do actually wonder to myself, what the hell has happened to Star Wars? Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera. Yeah, just you couldn't pick a more appropriate name. Has a meeting with the Senate committee, headlined by Genevieve O'Reilly. You remember her, the woman in the interview who couldn't remember who Arnold Schwarzenegger played in the Terminator movies? Okay.
I think about Princess Leia in Return of the Jedi, and I think about Linda Hamilton in the Schwarzenegger film, in Terminator.
And at one point, there's an exchange between Hera and this diverse Senate. And can you believe she has the gall to ask him, have you ever been in war? To which, of course, as the beta male, as he's written to be, stands there and goes, no, I haven't. And you can almost see the smug satisfaction on Hera's face, as if to say, yeah, you know what? Your dick is much limper than mine. And I didn't need that. It was just a very forced, contrived message to yet again remind the male viewers out there they're bad, terrible men, and you should be ashamed of yourselves for being that gender. But then again, try telling that to Dylan Mulrooney. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for stupid, physics logic defying madness that Stephen Hawking would turn around in his grave if he ever saw this? So while Ray Stevenson's henchwoman and her attack dogs are coming after Hirak, Sabine, and Ahsoka, they actually take a moment from the 77 movie again, where Sabine is the pilot woman, she's firing away her laser cannons, and she can't really hit many of the fighters coming at her. So what is the logical explanation that Dave Filoni can think of that can only be settled by one woman, and one woman only? That's correct. Ahsoka says to Sabine, let me go out there, I'll catch you in a few moments. I'm paraphrasing it, but you might as well think it was that. Sabine is like, what? Well, what do you mean you're going? What are you doing? Ahsoka steps out of her ship and actually brings down 2 fighters. What is so ridiculous and retarded and illogical about this scene is that if you're in space, there should be some semblance of resistant gravitational pull fighting against turbulence. But oh no, apparently if you're Ahsoka, you can just step out, whoop-de-doop-de-doo, walk from one end of the wing to the other, like it's a normal day in Central Park in New York. I kid you not, it was one of the most ridiculous things. And of course, after that moment where she takes out the two fighters, she's floating in space. At which point I'm clapping my hands and thinking to myself, is this the end of our heroine?
Ahsoka! Sabine! Did you fix the ship yet?
You serious?
Because we were all waiting with bated breath, and guess what? She is rescued once again, and like nothing ever happened. And the last thing I've got to talk about is Migraine. I think I'm going to call her that. The actress who plays her must be getting a shit ton of money, because she literally stands there with her hands behind her back and stares at a green screen. That's what she's doing for like almost 2 minutes. I bet in real time it was probably longer than that. And do you know what incredible line she comes out with?
I'm ready. Open fire.
Turn on the turbo cannons. I don't ever recall hearing if turbo cannons are actually in the Star Wars franchise. It has been so bastardized beyond belief that by now, any semblance of the DNA that George Lucas gave to us many, many moons ago, many, many galaxies far, far away, are long forgotten about. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this painful joyride of a review for episode 3 of Ass Choker, make sure you leave a like below. Make sure you slap that subscribe button like it was Hera's face.
Were you ever in the war, Senator?
No.
And if I were you, and if you were me, you better come back for the next video.
My, it's stuffy in here. Let's open a window.
The amount of female voices and the diversity within the cast, so that hopefully many young girls and young boys can see themselves on screen.
And what is great about Andor is the amount of female characters, the amount of female voices, and the diversity within the cast, so that hopefully many young girls and young boys can see themselves on screen.